Hello and welcome to my Autodesk Inventor 2014 tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at creating 3D images on Autodesk Inventor. To create a new project, we want to go up to New or New on the Inventor icon. Click on New and it'll pull up a window that gives you a bunch of different options as to what kind of image you want to create. Today we're going to be looking at creating a standard IPT image. So we're going to click on that and hit Create. So it'll bring up a new screen for you to begin creating. We want to begin creating a 3D image. We want to go up to Create 3D Sketch. I know it says 2D, not 3D. And we want to start on 2D Sketch, Create 2D Sketch. When you select Create 2D Sketch, a screen consisting of a few different planes will show up. Today we will be selecting the horizontal plane. So to start off, let's say we want to make a cube. To begin making a cube, we will go up to Polygon. Polygon will allow us to use a square to create a cube. The square, the 2D image of a 3D cube, is 4 sides, so we'll select 4 sides. As this window is still up, go down to your yellow dot here, click, let go, and drag until you have your desired size for a square. Hit it. Click again to set the square. Now that we have a square, we're going to go up to Finish Sketch, click on that, and it'll bring us to this. Now we have a square here, and we can look at it different ways using this box by clicking and dragging to look at the top, side views, and bottom views. All the same thing because it's just a square. Now that we have our square here, we're going to go up to the option here in Extrude. We're going to click on that, and we are going to have to select the square. Now it gives us options as to how far we want it to extrude. So let's say we want it to extrude only ½ an inch. This will make the square extrude only ½ an inch. And as you can see, now we have a cube. Let's say we want it to be 2 inches extruded. Now we have a cube, but it looks more like a rectangular prism, right? So that's very cool. Okay, so let's say we wanted to create a cube without using the polygon option. To do that, let's first begin by deleting what we have here, our first cube that we made. We can do that one of two ways, by using either the back button to just go back through all of the steps we just did, or we can come over here where it lists all of our sketches and extrusions and simply click on them and use the delete button to delete them. Okay, so now that we have that deleted, we're going to go back over to Create 2D Sketch and back to 2D Sketch. We're going to click on the horizontal plane again, and this time we're going to go up to Line instead of Polygon. The line option allows us to be a little more precise in our sketches, as it allows us to see how long we're making our sketches. It measures them for us. So let's say we want to make a cube or a square that is a ½ inch by a ½ inch. So here we have a ½ inch. We're going to make it by clicking once and dragging until you have your desired length, and you can click again to set the line. Now it will automatically assume that you want to create another line, so it'll have one started for you. So you can drag again, or if you set the degree at which you want, you can just type in how long you want it. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 0.5 inches and hit enter, and it will create another line that's a ½ an inch. And we'll just do the same thing once more. 0.5, enter. And to finish off the sketch, you want to make sure that your final line is lining up and connecting with the origin of the shape. Here we have our ½ inch by ½ inch cube, or square for that matter, again. So we're going to go up and select Finish Sketch, and we have our cube. Very good. And once again, we're going to go over to Extrude, and it will automatically start to extrude our sketch, even though we did not select it. Typically, you do have to select the plane in which you want to select. So to make this an even cube, we're going to select 0.5 inches, right? And now we have a perfect cube. Now we could turn this into any number of things, such as a die or just a cube to give to your little brother or sister. We're going to give this cube to your little brother or sister, but you didn't want them to get hurt because the edges here are too sharp. So to fix that, we would want to go up to Fillet. Now fillet allows us to round off edges or corners. So after we select fillet, we're going to go over to an edge and we're going to select it. And as you can see, it is set to 0.125 inches, and that would mean that 125 inches of the edge has been rounded off. So we can change that. We can make it 0.5, make it a lot bigger so it's like an arc, or we can make it maybe 0.2, right? And we can do that to all the sides. So to set that, you just hit the check mark. Now let's say we're going to fill it again. We're going to do this side this time. Now it's going to round off this entire side, since this is no longer one or two edges, but rather just one edge. So we'll round that off 0.2 as well. So now we have our one side rounded off, or two sides for that matter. I'm going to show you guys real quick how to orbit the object rather than using the box to move it around, because sometimes it can get kind of glitchy. So the orbit tool is right here over in your toolbox. It's the one that looks like something from space, kind of. We're going to go ahead and click on that. It'll bring up a big target, and you want to click on the edge or corner that you want to orbit it around. So as you can see, I've selected that edge and the object is moving around it. We can click here and spin it. So that is a good tool to use. Alright, so we're going to finish off filleting the rest of the sides of the square, or cube for that matter. So we're going to select fillet and select this side. That's going to be 0.2 again. And once again, we are going to fillet this last side here, making this a dome-shaped object. So it's rather cool. Your siblings won't get hurt on it, and everyone is happy. So now we have our dome. Let's get rid of our dome for now. We're going to just select all of these and delete them. Okay. And we're going to start over with a new 2D sketch. This time we're going to try to work on making a cylinder by using the circle option rather than the line. This one allows you to determine how big you want the diameter of the circle to be. So we'll make this 1 inch. And here we have a 1 inch circle. Very nice. And rather than just make a solid cylinder or square like we've been doing, we're going to make a tube. Okay, so we're going to make another circle from the origin of the plane, and we're going to make it so that the tube is about 0.2 inches thick. So we're going to set this at 0.8. Now, as you can see, we have what would be the tube wall and the hole in the middle of the tube. So we're going to finish this sketch. We're going to go back up to extrude. We're going to select the part that we want to extrude. So we don't want the middle to extrude because that's the hole. So we're going to select right here. And let's make this 2 inches tall. Right. Okay. So now we have this nice looking tube. And you can go right through there. So that's very cool. Right. So now instead of just making one object, let's try to connect some objects. So we have our tube here. So we're going to go back up to create 2D sketch. Okay. Now, to create a 2D sketch after having an object already out there, you need to select where you want the sketch to be connected to. So we're going to select this top ring here. And we are going to play off of this by making a line, right? So maybe let's say we want this cylinder to be more stable when we stand it up. Let's make some crosses to help it stand up. So we'll set this at 2 inches. And maybe 0.2 across and back down to 2 inches and back over, and then we'll do the same thing here. Set that at 2 inches, and that looks a little off center, doesn't it? So we'll go back and delete that and back to line 0 degrees, 2 inches. That looks good, and we'll make that 0.2 wide as well, and back over here 2 inches. And that one, as you can see, rather than being a solid line, it is like steps almost down, so you can tell that it's not, in fact, a straight line. It's actually on a little bit of a diagonal slant. So we're going to go back and make that a straight line. So that is 0 or 180 now, and that's set for 2 inches and back down to 0.2. So now we have our crosses across the cylinder or the tube, and we are going to finish that sketch. We're going to go to create 2D sketch, we're going to finish that sketch. We're going to go to extrude. We're going to select both of these sketches we just made. So it probably wouldn't help for these to be 2 inches tall, right? So we're going to make it maybe 0.2 inches tall. So now we have this funny looking cylinder that hopefully could sit nicely on its cross beams, right? Very cool. So now we're going to go ahead and delete this this image that we have going on here. We're going to delete the extrusions and the sketches. So we're going to create a 2D sketch. I'm going to show you how to play around with arcs. Now arcs allow us to play around with either semicircles or a basic arc. So here you can set it from end to end to the arc. And as you can see, you can make it a small arc or a big semicircle. Let's say we're going to make a bridge. Okay, so we're going to start off with the arc. We're going to make it let's call it 1 inch wide, the arc, right? And we're going to make it 0.75 tall. Now we're going to make the supports of the bridge, and we'll make those 0.2. So we're going to use a line to do that. And let's say we'll make it 0.5 inches tall. So instead, we're going to start over here. We're going to go back to the support and make that 2 inches wide as well, or 0.2 inches. And we will make it 0.5. You can see the dotted line helps you to make sure that you have an equal line on the other side. So we'll set that and finish off the connection of our shape. Here we have our bridge now. We're going to finish our sketch and extrude it. Let's say we're going to make this 2 inches wide. It looks like a pretty wide bridge there. Maybe we can fit about 16 lanes of traffic. So we're going to go up to Create 2D Sketch, select that Create 2D Sketch again, and we're going to select the face we're going to be working with, which is this one right here. So we're going to go to Arc, and we are going to make the suspension as long as the entire bridge itself. So we click on both sides, and we'll make the arc of the bridge, say, 0.8. How about that? 0.8 inches. So now we have this arc, right? And it's going to have to be a filled out arc, right? Just like the 2 we made earlier. So we're going to need 2 arcs to complete this sketch. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make it about 0.1 inches wide, the arc itself. So we're going to go to the other side, finish that off, and we're going to make that arc go all the way up to match the other arc nicely. So now we have to fill off the bottoms of the arcs because the sketch is not complete. In order to extrude a sketch, it must be complete, and we're not going to use the arc there. I need to switch to line. The sketch has to be completely filled. So now we have a sketch that is closed off on all sides. We're going to go to extrude, and we have to select the face that we're going to do it at. We're going to extrude it 0.15 inches, and we select the face. Now, as you can see, the extrusion went in the direction that we didn't want it to go in. So we're going to go down and change the direction to direction 2. And now you can see the extrusion is right over the bridge, just how we want it. So we're going to finish that extrusion. So now let's say that we want to add more suspensions to our bridge. We're going to go up to Create 2D Sketch. We're going to select this entire face, and we're going to begin adding lines to create suspensions. So now that we have all of our suspensions in place, we are going to go up to the finished sketch. We're going to go to extrude, and we're going to select multiple spots to extrude. This can be done by just clicking on them, nothing more to that. And as you can see, they extruded in the opposite direction again, so we're going to go back down to the direction options, and we're going to go to direction 2 and put those right under the arc. Now we have our awesome looking bridge, and it's looking very cool. We're not going to do the other side just for time's sake. So this concludes our inventor tutorial for today. I hope it was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment and let me know how I did.